I'm Healing Wolf, here to sail with you across the ocean of recovery to the peace of a prepared nervous system that's not overprotective. It's just prepared. It's ready for whatever comes. So let's breathe together. Let's breathe in the sunshine. Exhale the moonlight. Boredom is a powerful ally on the road of recovery. I remember back when I was having a lot of sensations and sensation spirals, and by sensation spirals what I mean is that I would have sensations of chronic pain that were so intense, or panic that were so intense, that my mind would go offline, which is normal given those levels. My mind would go offline and spiral into despair. And I began to observe it. I began to observe this cycle, and it was really interesting. Levels of sensation really high, mind would go into a spiral of despair, negative thinking, feelings of hopelessness. And when I observed that cycle long enough, I started to get to know it, and I got bored of it. It was like a video game. I don't play video games, but I understand in video games where you're going through the same video world over and over and over to get to the next stage. And that video world might involve jumping and punching some little fruits and having to kick something. And there's usually some violence involved, some fighting of what are called bosses. And the bosses are like the big opponents on the journey. And you come up against those opponents many times, and you die in the video game, so you actually have to start over. And after a while, your mind just gets bored with the stages leading up to the point where you're actually challenged by the next nemesis. In the journey of recovery, I don't look at it like a battle. I look at those nemeses, or those big bosses, as opportunities for breakthrough, as your partner in moving to the next stage. So looking at this concept of boredom, it's like you get bored with the video game, you get bored with punching the little fruits and running through the little mazes and all that stuff. And where the real excitement is the point where you're actually challenged. So on the recovery journey, that boredom can become a superpower as you start to become aware of cycles that you've been through so many times. And you say, I've been here 1,000 times, I'm bored with this. And that sensation of boredom, the recognition of boredom, just saying, I'm bored, like this is really boring and stupid, like I've been here so many times. Boredom is really preferable to frustration, anger, rage, fear, all of those other emotions. Boredom is just like, yeah, I've seen you before, and this is no big deal. This is part of the journey forward to the next level, to the next big boss, to the next play of light and energy that moves you to the next stage of recovery, to the stage where you can look back and say, wow, yeah, all that was pretty boring. Like, it's really boring now. So as I went through cycles of intense sensation and despair and started to notice it, and notice that I would come out of it later, then I got bored of it. And the boredom and the recognition of the boredom, and me using my prefrontal cortex, my conscious mind, to say, yeah, I'm actually bored of that. Like, that's no longer a problem for me. That's no longer a stimulus for me. I might have intense sensations and then a thought spiral of negativity, but so what? Nothing happens after that. The sensations go down, the negativity goes down, and I move to the next cycle. And so it was really interesting to see that the boredom response allowed that cycle to break down, and looking at it from an awareness perspective was what increased the boredom. I'm generally not a bored person. Like, I'm always fascinated with something, even my own breath. So feeling boredom was a unusual sensation, but an unusual emotion, but super helpful. So look at where you might be getting bored of this journey. If you've had anxiety for a while, or chronic pain, or insomnia, or whatever, then you might be bored of it. You might be in a space where you see the sensations and they're just kind of like they're boring. They're like, you've seen them 100 times. They no longer affect you. You know that later they're going to go down, and inevitably they're going to shift and change, because that's the nature of being. So the boredom is an asset, is a friend, is a superpower. Harness that boredom. I'm here for you to help you walk through recovery from all these different neuroplastic conditions. If you visit my website, you'll see a long list of those issues. And my website is healingwolfcoaching.com. And underneath all of those, what I've found is usually some trauma, and clearing that trauma, getting unconscious mind to realize that whatever happened is over, and whatever imagined will never be, or is likely to never occur, is the secret to moving into presence, recovery, and healing. So reach out if you want one-on-one coaching. healingwolfcoaching.com is my website. Thank you for subscribing and being a part of my mission to help others out of suffering, out of unnecessary suffering, and back to a vibrant and blissful life.